This week on Friday Night Fights Invitational, we've got none other than Byteme on the Slayer side. And of course, on the opposition, two demons coming at you live and from the sweaty box of hell itself. SwanSong and NzTa, brought to you by none other than your neighborhood buddies, Tokyo Punch-Out and Catch-Up! I think I almost passed out. Whoever that, I don't know, someone, did you? I don't, what? Hey, what? How's it going, Catch-Up?
Hello, everyone. I wasn't prepared for that. I thought, you do the intro thing. I don't even know if I'm pixel. I think I'm all right. It might just be my side. Welcome, everyone. Enjoy the show. Thanks for joining us, as always. This is Friday Night Fights, our Invitational week number 5. Would you believe it, Tokyo, that we've already done 5 weeks of this? This is ridiculous.
It really is. That means that we are like over that hump where we are heading towards the finals, like barreling forward. It's crazy. It feels like it's just flown by so far.
So, for those that are new, welcome to the show. This is a community gathering where we celebrate battle mode, the asymmetric 2v1 multiplayer for Doom Eternal. Normally, we would be bringing on different sets of players every single week, having them play some exhibition-style matches, interviews, pick their brains about their demons, their Slayer choices, whatever it might be. And it's a nice, piece of community content every week where we sit around, watch the best kind of level of play that the game has to offer, and have a good old chat about it. For the past 5 weeks, we've been doing the online invitational, which has essentially involved some hand-picked players that are competing in a weekly round-robin format. And we're just trying to determine the best demon team and the best Slayer, having them go head-to-head for a finals. And every week so far, it's been a good time. And we have a special week lined up this week. It's now going to be Byteme, the speedrunner extraordinaire for modern Doom, 100%, and a really nice guy, going up against 2 new classic originals in SwanSong and NzTa. So there's a lot of experience here, many, many years of modern Doom, but in kind of different areas. Byteme is a multiplayer player, don't get me wrong, but he made a name for himself in the speedrun world, having that insane skill level for the single player stuff. And he's great at battle mode too, so it's gonna be a good show.
Exactly. Yeah. If you harken back all the way to either the awesome games done quick and or DoomCon, which was our Doom specific portion of QuakeCon last year, you will see Byteme as a speedrunner just absolutely crush Doom 2016 100% nightmare run as if he is just like making you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and telling you stories. Like, it is something to behold. If you haven't already, open up another tab, Google Byteme Doom, get back to that later. But for now, it's all about battle mode, which is, again, if you just woke up from under a rock, first of all, welcome. Second of all, you're in the right place. It's Friday night. We're all here together to witness another amazing matchup this week. Catch-Up already set the stage, but again, battle mode is a 2v1 Slayer versus Demon. Skill of the Slayer, he's fully kitted out. He's got all the weapons. He's got double dash. He's got glory kills. There's flame belch. There's pretty much everything under the sun. And by the sun, of course, I mean we're in hell. We're in different arenas. We're in different settings, and of course, because of that, demons come with that. There are fodder that are naturally on the map, and then there's 2 opposing demons, of which this week I think we're going to get to see some kind of classic Swan and Niz. If you've never seen these guys play before, these are some new classic legends coming at you and bringing sort of like their sort of staple like kind of classic meta. So very excited to get into it. But before we do, again, I want to do a quick shout out just to kind of like reason for the season. This is a Bethesda at home stream. So because of that, we are still very glad to report doing the charity that we do, which this is the last week and I think might even be the final stream for one of my favorite organizations that's very near and dear to my heart, called the Trevor Project, of which is basically the leading national organization that provides crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people under 25. So if you go ahead and hit !donate or also !charity, either or works in good old Twitch chat. it'll send you a little linky boy. And if you can donate anything, $1, $1 billion, whatever it is going to an amazing cause. Again, you don't have to. If you can't, we're still glad you're here and we love you. And go ahead and pass on the good word of awesome stuff that these peeps are doing. But without further ado, Ketchup, as you can see, there's Torment behind us. It's happening right over here. And I think if I'm like ESPing this right, I think we start on Torment as the first map, which I am jazzed about. Is that true?
Yes. So Torment's going to be the first map of the day. And again, just to remind everyone the format of how this is built, the matches are played ahead of time. Every player records their POV. Those POVs are then chopped up together to create the spectator experience. And every single week in the Invitational, there is a map rotation. So this week's rotation starts off with Torment. The map after that was Tundra. And then the final map was Celestial. I know the name. It's just in my head. I was like, wait a minute, it's something else. No, it's not. It's Celestial final map. So we'll reach that later. We have a couple of maps to get to before we reach that point. But I don't know about you, Tokyo, but I'm ready for map number 1.
I am too. I was also ready for a whole new map to be born as you were coming up with that third map, and I was here for it. But I think
my own creation.
Yeah, he's like, wait for a second. All right, it's built. It's called Celestial. It's been in the game since day one. It is going to be amazing. Okay, so first map, chat, everybody out here, Friday night, glad you're here. It's time to do what we do. And the reason for the season of why we came right now is match 1 on Torment. Let's goosh. Here we are. We're looking at a pretty, I believe that's the Slayers Club reward, Slayer, the Noir Boy, the 25th anniversary. Guys out here flex and wonder how he got it. Must have crushed those points.
Now, going into this first map with Torment, so many players, like now it's been out for a really good amount of time, they've been quite vocal. It's a lot of players' favorite map at this point, and it almost feels to me like, we all know how battle mode plays, we know what the meta's like, and the importance of like room to escape, but also room to take these fights, always, and all that stuff. And then here comes Torment, which kind of just fits the best of all of those different worlds for me personally. But as we can see, the Demon comp, this is really that NzTa and SwanSong combo. You won't see them really use anything else. This is what they know. This is what they've used since launch. And even then, I believe it's double hazard too. So this is like some old school meta right here. This was before the update changes and stuff like that.
I know. I kind of love seeing that though, because as much as you like to see, the metas change, they evolve with balance patches, with full updates. Like, I love to see players that stick to their guns, because it's like every single second of experience that they have had has been on these two demons. So what they're bringing is just nothing but raw experience. They have, both, gained and suffered through whatever balance changes might have affected this particular comp. But the fact they stuck to it means that confidence is going to shine. And right now, NzTa's in a bit of trouble. But as you can see here, like, there's so much nice verticality on the newest map, Torment, here. And I love, like, there's so many lanes and avenues now where, honestly, I still, like, I've played it multiple times, but attack lanes and zones, like, I'm still not even sure what the best strat is. And I think that, of course, these players are putting in the time and figuring that out. But honestly, right there, you see Swan gets off the board. That shield was down. It's that 1v1, that Marauder v Slayer. J.K. Rowling! I'm kidding! That Marauder is gone. It turns out that, through single player, people said he was tough, he was hard. Byteme figured out a way. He was literally blinking green in his mind the entire time. Round 1 goes to Slayer.
But I mean, going into these upgrades, it's, again, quite a classic mixture of things. You got the dashing for the movement. I mean, dashing on Torment's really important because it's a much bigger map than it looks. So mobility is 1000% key. And then, yeah, I mean, going in with the Tactician first for a Marauder so you get more of that utility early. The Fit Meatball mandatory so that you can dodge the Slayer and get in and out. So it looks like Byteme, checking him out first. All about that poke damage first, right? You want that range to kind of spam around those corners. Got to be quite careful with the spam, though, because obviously running out of ammo early can be quite a bad thing. It depends on how they loot block, but looks like so far he's trying to get some of that hit and run damage. And lots of use of the shield, you'll notice, when Byteme plays. It's just protecting himself while at the same time keeping both of these demons really as forward-facing as possible. Bit of a loot block early. That might have been a bit of a misclick, I think.
I think you're right. And honestly, like, you've seen a little bit less since that of the shield use. Specifically, what I mean is the mobile turret of Slayers coming out, because now it's not that 360-degree protection. It's only what you see is what you get, so it's the shield in front of you. But I do like to see that showdown, you know, as often as possible, where it's that Slayer versus that Pain Elemental. It's that, you know, when's your shield going down for attacks, when's mine coming down for defense. So, wow. Swan left the planet just now, so let's see if Niz can stay alive for long enough, another 11 seconds, which feels like probably about an hour and a half for him right now, to stay alive. But see, this is actually a good spot for Niz, because you can see that Byteme's having just a hell of a time, just a jolly old time, kind of re-upping on resources, taking out that sort of like top part of the layer cake there. But now Niz has to be on the back foot. But wait a second, he's popped the shield, the hazards are out, he's got a Pain Elemental behind him. Is he going to leave him on the board? He is not. This is a very bad situation for Swan to be in. It's shield v shield, but guess who's going to go out first? It's going to be the meatball.
I mean, that entire fight just came down to hazards just not hitting their mark. You know, when you're out in the open and the Slayer has dashes available, we can meet hook if there's fodder nearby. You kind of have to make a call out. And with the two hazards there and the fact that Byteme had full health but was out of armor, I mean, if he was in those hazards, that fight probably would have gone different. Very much an all-in. And now, I mean, here's what actually interests me, that we're seeing the best friend. You don't really see a lot of Marauders rock best friend anymore now that changes were made. I believe this is, in this version, it's, you know, that same way where it has to rely on the wolf biting, if memory serves. I don't play Marauder, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So it's actually interesting to see him taking that upgrade, because you normally don't see a lot of Marauders do it. And oh, hang on a minute, he's jumped down for some early push, and he's taken tons of damage. Looks like they're going to be separated at this rate. Should be a pretty easy pickup for Byteme, and now they're separated, and it's going to be hard to recover from this.
See, Swan's got enough map in Torment to sort of do the do-si-do and kind of make these loops. And he's doing a good enough job of it right now, but again, his shield isn't up right now, and oh my god, if Byte turns around, okay, he's got the shield back, but this is going to be the longest 1 second of his life. He's got him back. All right, Niz is back in. Byteme's lost all of his armor, so all of a sudden, even though they're both low, JK, the loot block was too early to actually deny that full armor. It blocked only the second half of it. The hazard did a little bit of damage there, but he was able to recover that armor. So this is another Byteme sitting very pretty situation. Swan is on the absolute back foot, and by foot, of course, I mean the, you know,
floating hand thing.
Thank you, floating hand thing. That's
it.
A straight GG. Yeah, absolutely. A really nice show.
Just, that round at the end was just what happens when demons get separated early on. It's one of the hardest things to come back from as a demon team when, you know, obviously it just came down to NzTa jumping down for some aggressive. Might have been a little bit of like maybe miscommunication or something, but the push came down, whole bunch of damage was dealt, Marauder gets taken out almost immediately. And then even though he's able to come back, you spend the entire map kind of just scattered and you can't really regroup. And, you know, because they both rock double hazard, you haven't got that sustain. We weren't in a power upgrade section yet, so the team heal's not there. It just kind of, the second... even like a single thing can go wrong at the start of a round, it can pretty much be, you know, if the Slayer plays his cards right, that round was over like 30 seconds in. You know what I mean? It's all about not being able to get your resources back, and then it's only a matter of time.
No, because you're right. As soon as they're separated, it becomes, as a demon, you have to play defense. You have to kind of curl up. You have to turtle. You have to kind of hopefully stay completely out of eyesight, you know, let them focus on trying to, you know, basically re-up on resources. But the issue is if it happens early enough, the resources aren't even that depleted. And now there's only one loot block, and it's, you know, the only lifeline you get at that point. So without further ado, I think it might be time to bring the three gentlemen onto the stream. Let me see if I can conjure it from Powers of Discord. Klaatu Verata. Nick. Oh, there they are. There they are. Okay. All three of you looking, doing real good. Doing real good, Byte. All three of you looking great. You're all rocking the new skins. I can see it. Appreciate that. Yeah, let's just start with Byteme. Number one, I really liked how your use of like rocket launcher, in particular with remote detonate on Torment. Like, I feel like you're using it extremely effectively in the sense that, of course, you have those sight lanes, but they were doing a lot of like the peekaboo as opposed to just the being out, you know. If they're obviously out fully out. Like you're gonna go precision bolt, you're gonna go, you know, ballista, all that. But walk us through like your kind of like weapon selection through Torment and kind of like what your strat was.
Yeah, sure thing. So, you hit the nail right on the head. The rocket launcher is kind of the way to like get the fox out of the foxhole, So they're hiding behind corners and they're going to try to do their chip damage and they're going to wait for me to mess up and then they're going to try to swarm me. So I don't want to go to them because it's a trap just waiting to happen. So I'm going to throw rockets. And I'll tell you what, Swan, he's a slippery fella because, you throw a rocket one way and then you throw a grenade the next and nothing happens, but he's there, So the idea is just to get one of them out into the open, and then kind of cycle through the precision bolt ballista and, try to get at least one of them down so that, if they do decide to both come at me at once, I can pop one, have all that instantaneous resource regain, and still be able to hold my own in that one-on-one that ensues.
I mean, I've been meaning to ask you now where, Doom Eternal came out a few months ago now at this point. It's no longer like as brand new as it once was. That applies in a different way to you, I think, Byteme, as a very hardcore speedrunner for the game. Obviously, you're here with battle mode as well. I got to ask, what has the process been and how has it kind of felt learning, like, I guess, multiple modes in the game at such an in-depth level? Because to even speedrun the game requires a very much like a scientist's brain, right? To get all that down to, like, obviously the way you've memorized all the rooms and all the important stuff during your Ultra Nightmare runs. But then battle mode's an entirely different ball game. So what's the learning process been like for you?
So, the thing about the single player mode is that it's mostly deterministic, so garbage in, garbage out. And you can apply that same principle to the multiplayer as well, but you're no longer going up against AI. So it's a lot more difficult to predict. And depending on your opponent, you have to be somewhat reactive. There's so many differences the moment you step into a multiplayer arena because a lot of these players that are in this invitational are really talented and they're really smart. So the strategies that they'll employ, they'll purposely go off and do something where you're like, what are they doing? I don't know what's going on here. And then next thing you know, you see the brilliance of the strategy. You're like, God, I can't believe I fell for that. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it's just on the one hand, you know what to expect with little asterisk there in the single player, and in the multiplayer, like you have to know your opponent.
100%. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense too. That's just a personal question that I'd wanted to ask you for quite a while. Now I've got you here, you're all mine. But yeah, as we now move on, Swan, I'll speak to you next, mate. How's it going?
Going pretty good.
So we touched on this during our if memory serves, we haven't had you and NzTa on since our very first show edition of Friday Night Fights, right? Week 3, I think it was. Yeah. We haven't seen it since then on the show. I asked you then, and I'm going to ask you again for those that are new and have, maybe they didn't watch that first week that we did. How long have you been playing like multiplayer Doom? Just to enlighten people.
I've been addicted since 1993.
Well, you're in a safe space, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to know that, okay? Your name is SwanSong. Everyone said his name is SwanSong. Okay. Now that we've got that out of the bag, like, yeah, walk us through from all these different generations of Doom that you've played, through all the different generations of id games that you've played and other games, of course. Like, in battle mode, like, where does it fit in your sort of like, like Rolodex of like, new and exciting things, because you've sort of seen a bit of it all at this point, right?
Yeah, it's totally different from all of the deathmatch experiences that I've played. It's in there's strategy in all the games, right? But this one, there's metas that change all the time and to varying degrees, right? So you have all sorts of demons, all different abilities. The Slayers, there's different styles that the Slayers can play. You have all 6 maps, so it's exciting to play this mode, and it's everyone says, okay, it's I've used this analogy before or recently, but it's like, you know, you grow up on a certain type of food, right? And that's me. Like that's like it's deathmatch, right? So
Yeah.
it's
Deathmatch
battle
is your
mode
chicken.
yeah, exactly. And then when you get introduced something else, it's awesome, it's fun, but I mean, I grew up on deathmatch, so
Right.
it's of course that. So I mean, I know I speak from like there's parts of the community that are like that, but
Sure.
it doesn't mean that this game is not fun because it
Yeah.
is. It's super fun. Like it's one of those things, but at the same time, like I said, it's like I grew up with a certain food, and
So it's
that's
been quite the
the way it
learning
is.
experience for you,
Yeah,
essentially.
it's been it's like so all that, and it's brought new things, and that's what's great about it is like you know they brought something they brought something new for us to play, and I'm
Right.
glad that they did because it's like yeah you know it's progressive, you know, so it's good. And I've had a lot of fun.
So NzTa, I noticed in the first map that you still take the best friend upgrade. I'm just kind of interested as to the kind of sticking with the guns direction. So what is it about best friend that you still like with the Marauder?
So the reason I picked it was just to get more damage reduction. Because if the wolf bites the Slayer, you get the damage reduction, and it stacks. At least it used to stack. I think it still stacks, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it doesn't. Once that stacks, you can take a lot of hits that way. So that's the main reason, is just for that damage reduction.
Cool, interesting.
I think it's just because also, NzTa, you're just a good friend, and so you want more good friends to sort of be together on the demon side. So you're kind of just squadding up, essentially, right?
Yeah.
He's like, sure, I guess.
If that's the way you want
Gives
it.
your wolf more health.
Right, right. You got to keep your wolf healthy. That's lesson number 1 as a Marauder, right? And
Yeah.
lesson number 2, NzTa, that you taught us so well on the first time we actually did this all together in the stream before we had, you know, Byteme and Joey and Flair do it, you know, on their separate streams was you believe in that super shotgun. Like I feel like you use Axe specifically almost kind of like for zoning to sort of like discourage where the Slayer should be. But I feel like your super shotgun and the way that you close distance, like you play it really aggressively, but I think you taught everyone in this community, and especially a lot of us, you know, a lot of people that were viewing that maybe weren't as familiar with battle mode, that like the Marauder wants to be in your face just like that wolf, and the bite is in the form of 2 barrels up close to that Slayer. Like that is still your jam. Like what is it about the Marauder that keeps you coming back?
I just like the damage output he does, and I like the aggressive playstyle. That kind of fits my playstyle, is getting up in Slayer's face and making him panic.
I like that. Speaking of which, we have a couple more matches in us. So that was just one match that was Torment for a minute. I'm just going to poof you guys away, poof. Because Ketchup, I'm going to turn to you to face you. First of all, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for
It weirds
being
me out
here.
because if I do that, and I turn this way,
Yeah.
first of all, I go really quiet because my microphone's over there. Second of all, it's like I'm having to look into the monitor that you are not on to talk to you on the stream output. So this just really weirds me out. And now I'm like, I can't.
Sorry,
And even then, I was only slightly looking. I have to go this far, and now you can hear me even less.
I
So
can
face
hear you less.
completely.
It's hard to hear you.
All right,
But
then
we're
back.
good now. Okay.
We're good to go. We're back. Welcome everyone.
Yeah,
So map 2,
obviously.
Tundra.
Ooh, I like it. It's icy. You've got the Zenith in the middle. There's so much air mobility options that if the Slayer stays in the air, he's going to be a harder target. But of course, everyone knows after update 2, the demons can hit more consistently, period, across the board. And AI is way more aggro, a.k.a. watch yo if you're a Slayer, basically, no matter where you are. Cacodemons are no longer your friends. They want to eat your face off. So, without further ado, this is a clean stream, and we're going to keep it clean by going straight into the icy, icy, icy Tundra.
Okay, so we have the exact same demon comp, again, as expected. But Tundra, I mean, it's very combat heavy. You know, it's all about kind of.
I really thought you were going to be like, it's very cold. Please wear a jacket.
It's very cold.
It's freezing cold. It's very cold.
The Marauder's kind of shirtless. I don't know how I feel about that in the icy temperatures. However, I mean, the Hell Knight's not wearing any clothes, so I don't know how he
could
feels.
catch a cold, honestly. Maybe that's why he's so aggressive and he's moving so fast. He's just trying to stay
Speaking
warm.
of aggressive, there's immediately a fight breaking out, and this is why, like, as combat heavy as Tundra is, it almost completely. It's just because of how the map is laid out. By the way, there's so much going on right now. You have to play around what the Slayer does because he has the room to go in. By the way, that's going to be a pain element already gone. Looks like a 1v1, no, 2v1, I guess, if there's a Hell Knight on play, and that's it.
Wow.
Okay, I'm not even going to call that a 1v1 because there's a Hell Knight right there that's like, hey, I'm going to help out.
I know, and honestly, that Noxious Hazard was so well placed because amidst all that fight, when, you know, he still had the confidence as a Slayer to make that push, it was that extra damage that Noxious Hazard, of course, is that, you know, that green space that you see appear that both demons are picked in their kit. And that did a lot of the damage for him. Dashing coming out, Tactician. You love to see the Tactician now for demons because, again, they're going to get those abilities up quicker. And spawning AI is now, like, way more than it used to be in the sense that you get way more bang for the buck in the sense that they are doing work for you now, Ketchup.
I have heard from keeping one eye on stream chat. A couple of people saying the audio seems a tiny bit off. But then there are some people saying that they think it's okay. So I think we'll keep one eye on that. And by all means, we'll see what happens as we continue this. But there is a fight going on, as there always is. Oh, that Arachnotron could not have been more in the way if it tried. Byteme getting blocked and taking a ton of damage. And now having to really try and thrive off that invincibility. The invincibility used all the time just to save your skin. I mean, look how weak he is. And it's all about just trying to pause things, stabilize, see where the demons are, plan your next attack. Having to pop that shield again, because, I mean, you know, you've got a Marauder in your face, you want to block some of that damage. Swan, looking pretty worse for wear, but he can't reach him. Blood Punch, all right, pretty good, but yeah, stuck in a terrible situation.
God, blink and you miss it, though. For real, for real. Like, Meatball staying true, not cooking too long in the on the stovetop there. Speed Demon coming out because, you know why? Because he's been hitting those glory kills and he needs and wants basically
because
more
he's
distance.
a speedrunner. That's why he's taking it.
Oh, God, you're right.
Like, as I said it before, and I'll say it again. I was thinking of this. Trust the only speedrunner in this category to be the first person to use the Speed Demon upgrade. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's the first time we've ever seen it on Friday Night Fights. Is that right, Ketchup? It feels like it. Like that icon looked foreign to me when it just popped on the screen.
I know that I definitely had to get that asset of the graphic this week, so I can only assume it's the first time it's been used.
I love it. First time ever on Friday Night Fights, you are seeing it come out from legendary speedrunner Byteme, who is trying to do some 3D chess right now in the fact that this Slayer is salsa, switching to tango, switching to waltz, and I'm out of dances because that's literally all I know, but he's doing more, I'm pretty sure.
Lots of damage, again. But Byteme, I mean, the reality is he's taking more, so now he's the one on the back foot. He's constantly surrounded, again, looking like this could be it, and it will be. Checking things out from NzTa. Wow. Who just pushes in. And it's like I said, it's a combat-heavy map. It really is. And sometimes if you push in and it doesn't go right, sometimes it doesn't even matter if you have a plan B because you're so far in that there's no getaway. But no, just I've always keeping one eye on the chat. Apparently there's like a slight, almost tinny thing to the audio. We'll keep that in mind, and if anything can be done, I'm sure we'll give it a go. But apologies if there are any sound issues. It's just, sometimes it happens, I suppose, on some of these.
Sometimes
shows.
it just be that way on audio. Hopefully not.
Apparently it's just the VOD. Apparently it's not us. It was the video. So I don't know if that gives you any more information, Tokyo.
It is good to know. It is very good to know. We have one more match coming up, but before we even get right back into bringing all those handsome gentlemen back on the stream again, a quick shout out to our friends at the Trevor Project. This is the last week, I'm pretty sure, for the Bethesda at-home streams, of which have been collecting donations for this amazing organization. If you can, please hit !donate or !charity, and it will go towards this amazing organization, of which is the leading organization that provides crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people under 25. Super important, super awesome stuff. If you can, please go ahead and check them out, if nothing else, and spread the word. Spread the good word. Speaking of good word, good God, like that went
That
3-0
was fun.
to the Slayer and then 3-0 the other way around to the Demons. So should we just bring them all back in for a chat? Are we ready?
Yes, please.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Power of the internet. There they are. There
Hey,
they are. All
welcome
right.
back, everyone. Now, I guess the first thing I have to ask, Swan. The first map
Swan.
was the first map. I didn't mean that sounds so. Yes. Anyway,
No, I
Swan.
like that.
Yeah, I said that a little bit more delicately that time
That was
round.
nice.
The first map, obviously a 3-0 against you, but this time round it was a completely different effect. What was different? What did you think changed in that map?
I think Byte got an energy drink and wanted to go super aggro, and we appreciated that. We got we got more value off of our hazards. We missed everything on the first game. We aligned our loot blocks, and we really messed it up on the first round where we did them early, we did them at the same time, and this time it's like he wanted to go toe to toe, and we're like, okay, let's do it. So that was fun.
So
Yeah,
you
I
almost
feel
feel like Tundra was an opportunity, like you've de-rusted a little bit. Your hazards are a bit more on point. Not to undermine Byteme in any way. Obviously, you played godlike in the first map, without question. But yeah, definitely seemed like you were a bit more in tune, I guess, in that map.
Yeah, I felt really good. The first round, like I died, and then I was like, oh man, this is going to be tough. And then of course NzTa does what he always does, and he ends up pulling out the 1.5v1. So I was
the whole
happy to
night,
see
right?
that.
The whole
Yeah.
night, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
let's do this.
And so it's like we got that first round. That means at least we'll have team heal or resurrection. We always go team heal. I know the current meta, a lot of people are going resurrection, but we stick with the team heal. But we knew that we had that in the pocket, but we didn't end up having to use it. So it's all good.
So Byte, was it like SwanSong said, where you just felt like a burst of energy and wanted to go in? What was with the extra aggression and also the speed demon pick? Because like I said, you are the first person that used it. So what was the kind of reasoning behind why you went with the upgrade?
So, something kind of came over me in the second match, and I think the single player muscle memory started like trying to take over, and I was just like, I gotta rip and tear, and I decided I was gonna go all in, and for the speed demon thing, in my mind, there was just this brilliant idea that I was just going to, headshot some fodder demons, get them all staggered, ping pong in between them, and then I was gonna go to NzTa and blood punch him in the face. And well, it didn't work out that way, as you saw.
You're like, what do you mean my blood punch doesn't apply in battle mode to player demons? That's a Marauder. That's how I finish him off. But no, I loved that you win aggressive, but I felt like part of that, kind of like counter to that was, I have to just shout out, we've shouted out a little bit here, but like NzTa and Swan, I'm gonna put this one on NzTa. Like, you guys had some crispy noxious hazards, and I feel like they were better timed around watching, for when, because the most important place to drop a noxious hazard isn't just where the Slayer is going to be, but it's always making sure that that dash is out. Like, once the Slayer's dash is out and the noxious hazard goes down, you're just like, it's like a direct deposit into the bank of NzTa's Marauder, of the damage. Like, you had more success with your wolf, but like, walk us through like what was so different in Tundra versus Torment, NzTa.
Well, yeah, like Swan said, we definitely had more luck with our hazards, and it felt like I was landing a lot more shotgun shots. Also, like, I was getting in the first map, I was getting like 2 pellets were hitting, but this map I was getting like almost all 5, and that really takes a chunk out of the Slayer. And yeah, I noticed we put the hazards in a good spot where there's a big cluster of demons, and you can get tripped out on those, get stuck in the hazard.
Yeah, and I feel
Have
like.
you had any?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, please.
Isn't the issue with these online delays where you're both trying to speak and you haven't quite got that time to react to it. I get tripped up on that all the time. But what I was going to ask was, there was a big emphasis too on the actual demons themselves that are on the map. You know, in the first round, the Hell Knight was there to give you that support, and then I think it was even the second one, the Arachnotron, that was right near where the ramp comes up in the middle. Have the sort of faster summons changed your game plan in any way? I guess this applies to both, but I'll ask NzTa. Have you been experimenting with kind of like the faster summon speeds? Has that changed anything for your game plan?
Not really. I use them more often now that they're more useful, but
Yeah.
I haven't really changed my game plan around it yet.
Cool.
Change
Well-
that they made like what 4 weeks, like 4 or 5 weeks ago, where
Mhm.
before, if you spawned a demon, even though one was up, like that demon would like blow up, turn into a loot pinata, and then
Yeah.
you know, another demon. Now you don't have any because it doesn't do that anymore. So you just have no hesitation of just
Yeah.
spawning a new demon when you get it. So
Yeah, it's
That's-
just the
that's
full
been good.
despawn. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely. Well, I'm so curious now that it's been like so one-sided both ways. What exactly is going to happen in map 3? So for a moment, I'm just going to 3, 2, 1 poof. You boys away because we have one last match here catch up to go through. And again, ahead of time, if the audio is tinny, sorry about it. But that's the way it is. Please let
I promise it's fine in the edit. It was all right. I don't know what happened.
please
I would have caught it afterwards. I'm going a bit red. Sorry.
please let these silky smooth tones coming out of mainly ketchup and every now and again the guy here to just sort of Barry White you through this entire experience, even if it's by force, because we are going straight into a map that I feel like ketchup might have actually birthed in the very beginning of this stream, which is Celestial, because the way it came out. But again, we're going to do map 3. This is the final map for the evening for this amazing set of players that we have. But again, right after this, we are going to, at the very end of the stream, stick around because we are going to show you the Around the Horn. During the Invitational, every other participant in the tournament played each other once a week. So we're going to show you basically what happened in every other match in a little bit of a sweet little blitzkrieg cut done by none other than PNDK&M. But without further ado, it is time for Celestial.
The final map in the rotation for the week. And as you quite rightly said, we have got a recap coming a little bit later, so stay tuned for that for the rest of the week's results. But comp-wise, it's as you expect. You got the Pain Elemental, you got the Marauder. The question is on Celestial, where do you start? Because the Slayer has so many different ways you can go. It is very common that you kind of set up shop a little bit in the middle just to get some of that extra information. Maybe a lucky little shot if you want. But already you can see some Carcass causing some trouble. So he's going to try and take out that just a little bit early on. Getting rid of the cannon too make the Arachnotron instantly not as scary as it could be. And one thing you've kind of grown to notice that Swan and NzTa, they don't really seem to favor those instant blocks. I know there are some demon teams that will block pretty much the moment any loot comes out, but they don't really value recharging just that small amount of ammo. You know, they're definitely in that kind of margin. Not every demon will, you know, and they're definitely the ones that will wait. But as we can see now, looking for some of that kind of ranged poke damage, I suppose. And this is where the loot blocks actually start to come out. You know, now it's a bit more significant in their eyes.
Right, and the wolf is out, but again, what I like that I'm seeing out of Byteme especially is the way that he is traversing around this map. He's kind of staying around the outside, doing that classic donut where you know that your back is safe in the certain respect of knowing that you're kind of like not keeping yourself in the middle where you can sort of get clogged up. You can hit some of those, you know, demons, some of that AI, and basically like last map, you can kind of avoid what happened there. But Celestial, as everyone knows, has that amazing beam coming down from the heavens, the Maker's Wrath, as it were. But wait a second, we have a full-on confrontation here. They're both pushing in. Byteme has his back to the teleporter. He has teleported. He's on the other side now. They're using this time to sort of regroup, respec, and as you can see here, the loot is being blocked expertly. Oh God, Blood Punch happening for that Arachnotron. BRB to that, because that was taking him directly out of the fight. So right now, again, another loot has been not blocked this time. So he just sat in the Noxious Hazard like it really wasn't bothering him. But it was shield v shield there for a second. He's doing a little poke damage. a Swan is just, that meatball is, yeah, that's, I was going to say, is barely holding on to the, you know, literally taking those little tiny hands and trying to keep the ground meat in. Using the teleporter again, I like giving a little bit of distance here. I'm not exactly sure if Byteme has the beat on where NzTa is, but he only has to survive 5 more seconds. Okay, clearly this is that 1v1 that NzTa was hoping to not get. Yeah, found him. That was the GG for that round. First one goes to Byteme. Did a really good job of staying out of you know, action in a way that he could kind of get double teamed and, you know, like flying V'd there. But dashing coming out, that's a really standard and really good pick for any Slayer. Basically, you want to make sure that you can do it as quick as possible. But these Slayers, I mean these demons rather, I'm really kind of excited to see if they try to bait him into what I like to call this little glass house area, because I know SwanSong loves to do the in and out here and kind of like, it's the perfect place where you can poke, dash, and use your shield in a way that can keep you almost like free and clear of damage.
Oh, they've gone into the early hazards though, and pretty much neither of them are going to hit their mark. It's not so bad for NzTa because he has Tactician. Just keep your eyes out. Like the second you take Tactician, the hazard becomes a 24-second cooldown. So you get it pretty often as far as these kind of giant payouts go. But it looks like he's already dishing out an absolute ton of damage. NzTa looking worse for wear. And from this situation, I mean, you know, what do you do as NzTa? Do you look to try and disengage, or with Swan being as healthy as I guess he was before this all happened? Wait a minute, what was?
Oh, that Hell Knight refused to die. The fact that happened with the hazard of the map, from literally the heavens, was a demonic. I don't know, like what to call it. It was exactly what the demons needed at that time. Save their ass. They are out of that round. It's now 1-1 on rounds, and this is the interesting one because right after this we have power upgrades coming out. Ketchup, and I'm really interested to see how that's going to change the dynamic if this can go the demons' way.
The early push comes out immediately. I do like the emphasis on the double dash there. Byteme does definitely know that the second you go up that jump pad, it's kind of a free spot, and he's able to fight back. And another demon is just right in the way. Wow. Arachnotron, we got a perfect close-up of its ugly face. I like that.
How dare you?
Like, she's great, lovely face.
There it is.
Lovely. I
She's
love the
beautiful,
fangs,
and
you know, I love the big brain and the fangs combined. And
that's
you know,
that's
wait
what
a minute. Okay.
That's what we're talking about. NzTa, it's the 1v1 that he didn't really want in this situation, but I love the fact that Byteme doesn't really have a total 6 on where he is right now, and it didn't matter because there wasn't enough time to push in the way that he wanted to because he still had too long to get SwanSong back on the map. Fist of Fury come out. Love to see it. Love to see it. Just believing in the Blood Punch. Again, basically a signature Byteme move there because, again, through the speed runs, that is the jam. The guy knows the tech on Blood Punch.
It's going to be very familiar to him, I imagine. Yeah. Checking out his POV, this map, he's using Blood Punch all the time. So simply getting those kind of benefits that you normally get when you take Fists of Fury, it's an interesting choice. You don't see it a lot, but now look, he's instantly got that kind of reduction on deck, and he's able to fight fire with fire. The hazards have been used though, so he's in a little bit of danger, and you know, the double team heal is there because it means they can stick around, it means they can fight. And look at how much Byteme stuck around to try and fight this. He's been able to get one of them, but the problem is he's so weak, there's no way he can fight. You know, Swan is fully stacked up, and he's actually popped haste too. Looks like Swan might even be confident to try and finish this, especially with the lack of health that Byteme's working on.
Oh,
yeah, the carcass shield as well. That was a good punishment. Great carcass. 10 out of 10.
Not to mention, like, SwanSong stayed, like, I like the way that Byteme prioritized the same way he would in single player to try to take care of that Marauder. He was popping his grenade, he was using the rocket launcher, he was kind of creating that space, but the way that he prioritized him until he could finish him completely off, he was left without resources to the way that when Swan pushed him, the AI around him supported him as such that there was nothing he could do but basically try to be on the back foot, and there just wasn't enough fodder to basically use to his advantage to restack. So now we've got a full 2-2 here. This is the deciding round of the set here. We've got 2 each. And I don't know, Ketchup, what are you thinking here? Because so far we've seen Byteme running the speed runs to both, you know, great success and also peril. Like it's basically round to round here of who he's prioritizing and how. I feel like maybe the best strategy we've seen out of him is when he's prioritizing Swan first. So I'm curious to see if he kind of follows that same strategy this round.
I mean, he's doing a good job of constantly restacking. That's super important. Oh, the immediate block on the regular glory kill. That's going to shut down a little bit of stack. And actually, you know, on that note, they got a great hazard to trap him afterwards, so he can't recharge. That's a really nice shot. Has forced out the team heal, though. The question is, how does he escape? You know, from this point, having HP is one thing, but you really need the armor. Blood punching to actually proc the reduction, I do like that. Swan as the pain elemental, I mean, he's going to be almost like a free source of reduction just to survive, and it did work out. They have a block ready? Okay, yeah, they've got a block. I will admit, I've lost track of who had what.
I know.
Now this one...
That's why I love this map so much, though, Ketchup. Like, I love the way that, like, both the verticality, the pathing, the way the teleporters are used, this lighthouse, like, over here, like, glass house, whatever you want to call it, the greenery. I love the way that, like, oh, God. This is actually, I think this is going to be...
The missed hazard. Doesn't quite get the hazard.
This is maybe going to be it. There's a super pursuit going on right now from SwanSong. He is in the hazard. He's not taking too much damage, but Byteme has no armor. He's definitely on the back foot. He's got a little bit now. Let's see if those blood punches can help him.
Boost.
Oh, no.
Keeps him alive. NzTa pushed in really hard, actually. Maybe overextended. Here comes that instant invincibility. They've got the block, and yeah, no choice. Use the haste, use the double dash. Saved himself. Really good save.
Yeah. I mean...
He's not safe. Far from it.
It's really not. Okay, the carcass is off the board, which is good, because as we all know, that's that third player that can just ruin your day as a Slayer. But wait a second. Now the resources are going...
restack. Oh yeah, my lord.
And all of a sudden that team heal needs to be now for the demons, because they're on the
They have to buy time. They're so weak. Wait a minute. One good shot on NzTa. That'll do it. The team heal's almost ready at this point. It's been a while. No, they've got it. They've double popped it.
Oh my god, that was the perfect time for that to happen for demons. Like, all of a sudden they can not only, you know, they don't have to be defensive, they can be full aggro. Byteme's keeping his back to the teleporter. Will he use it again to get the hell out of here?
Out of ammo on the shotty.
Ooh, that blood punch, though.
Let's go.
That blood punch, though. Fist of Fury! Fist of Fury was picked! It's being used! Let's see. Let's see.
But there's no fodder. There's no fodder to get ammo back.
Oh my god. There really isn't. That's going to be a problem quick.
I think... I can't quite recall whether it's been able to use up the block or not. He's so weak. He's in the hazards. Wait a minute. All right, he's got him. He's got Swan. No, here comes NzTa.
That noxious hazard, boy! That green slime, that ecto cooler.
Yeah.
Make him.
Wow.
That was a good last match.
That was a good match.
Apparently, that was in the VOD. That's amazing. I was like, wait, did they unmute? That's a great clip from that. I don't even want to talk too much about it without him, Ketchup. Should we just spawn him back from the internet? Just get him here? Just get him now? All right, 3, 2, 1, boys. Are you with us?
That moment was, I mean, you got Spite, you got Swan, and, you know, obviously you were there to get the stack that comes from the free stuff that you get, and then NzTa's right behind, and he's got his hazard resi. Like, run me through those final moments. All three of you, but we'll start with Byteme.
Well, you know, that last match was pretty darn intense, and there towards the end, I knew I had two options. You know, I could play cat and mouse, and you know, then it's up in the air, or I could go after this Quake Champions Dodger and get my revenge. I may have lost the round, but I won the war. Yeah, no, it was intense. Like they both played very, very well. I thought that blood punch damage reduction was gonna help me, but man, those hazards, I kept finding myself in them, and you know, especially when I was low, I was relying on that final frag to be able to restack me, but I they were right outside of my reach.
I was going to say, you hit such a nice ballista that I thought was going to be the end, and maybe you even thought too, of SwanSong. And SwanSong being this vet, this guy doesn't back down. Like, he didn't dash away. He pops his shield, he uses his dash, he goes aggro. Like, SwanSong last round, like, are you just playing balls out? Like, I feel like you were going aggro when you had like 0 HP. Like, what was that last round for you guys?
Yeah, like, you know, that round kept on going back and forth, and when we had him low, and then he had us really low at that one point. I was like, if I can just get around this corner, team heal's gonna be coming pretty soon for both of us. So then we got that big team heal, and we're like, okay, we can be aggressive now. And then all of a sudden, we look 10 seconds later, and both our health is like just low, and it's like, okay, we don't have team heal again for a long time. There's no way we're gonna get it back. There's no way we're gonna get back. This match is gonna end before that. So it's like, hey, let's just go for it. Let's just go for it all, and then to see what happens. And then we had those two hazards like positioned just perfectly, and he was just trying to climb up, and I was like, he's stuck mantling. Like, it happens all the time, and in my head it says it happens. It happens in campaign all the time, right? You died that way, and when
you're mantling,
lost,
you're just
I just saw on his screen. The end. Like when you get an Ultra Nightmare.
That was it. That was it.
You just saw that red treatment come in.
Yeah, exactly.
You just picture that Ultra Nightmare logo with his name.
A ledge climb into a hazard into against all the evil that hell can conjure.
You're like, hold R, skip.
So, NzTa, you've always had quite a sort of calm and collected demeanor. Always, you seem like a very chill dude. During moments like that, where the balance of the win lies in your play, do you get nervous at all? Was there any kind of like adrenaline there for you, or were you, do you stay calm all the way through? I've always wondered.
Yeah. So it just comes with experience. Like, I have enough experience in like tournaments and stuff to where I don't get nervous, but I definitely had a smile on my face when I came around the corner and saw Byte right there, and I was like,
licking your lips.
Put a hazard right there, and then he missed the jump, and that was it.
It was. I think it really was I think it's the best ending we've had so far for any.
It looked like a little kid that was climbing the fence and couldn't make it, and the dog got him.
Yeah.
Get off of my
Chopper,
lawn,
really
and it was just like,
Chopper's sick balls.
Choppers, get him! And he did. That noxious hazard was like a giant green wolf, and it knew how to bite because it was just waiting for Bite Me at the top of that thing. Like, are you ready? Do you have enough HP? Can you? Bite Me did get bit. Wow, that was a hell of a round. That was a really, really fun Celestial. That's one of the many reasons. Not only do I love all you guys, but I love that map because you get endings and you get wildness like that. I love the way that you guys went aggro. That was so bananas. But the timing on when that team heal came up in that last round, Ketchup and I were like, are you kidding me? Like, we thought you were both deleted. We thought it was like GG's, roll the credits, and then all of a sudden, like, your health just goes poop. That was nuts.
Yeah, and just to be real, like both NzTa and I and Bite Me, we're low on the scoreboard, so it's like we have nothing to lose, So it's like, hey, let's just go at it toe to toe. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it was a fun series of matches with those guys. I had a blast.
It was overall. I think it was a really good time, especially that final map. But as we always do, the entire point of Friday Night Fights is and always has been to celebrate, you guys, the community, those that play the mode, love the mode, not just the mode, the game in general. Battle mode's what we're here for, and we always want to celebrate you at the end of the show and give you an opportunity to shout out someone or anyone, no matter what it is, just to, whether it's community or whoever. And we're going to keep that tradition today. So starting with Bite Me, do you have any shout outs to give?
I want to shout out all my friends in New Classic. I'd also like to shout out all the folks that are spicy juicers in the battle mode community. You guys are absolutely killing it. Everybody within the Doom community, I love you guys. Y'all are great. Some shout outs to fellow speedrunners, Zero Master, Drake Koo. Zero Master just dropped a new world record for the 100% Ultra Nightmare in Eternal. So looking forward to actually consuming that in its entirety, and then looking forward to see if Draku responds with another record of his own. So
I'm addicted to those runs, man. I'm addicted.
Sam.
Oh yeah, they're impressive.
Every time a gauntlet gets put down, I'm like, I can't wait to see this, and then the next one, because it's coming.
Right. And I guess up next, SwanSong. Do you have any shout outs, mate?
Well, I just want to say thank you to you guys for having a
Pleasure.
An awesome stream every Friday, and then the Thursday weeklies are always awesome to watch as to get through the weekly challenges. Devs have been doing an awesome job of just keeping in touch with the community, and like they're on it. So like the community appreciates that, and also I shout out to the Doom community. Like I haven't seen the Doom community this positive, and everyone like sincerely rooting for each other for a long time, and that's really refreshing to see. Seeing a lot of young players and a lot of hungry players, like all those guys in Spicy Demons. Those guys are hangry, man. They're hungry and angry. So it's like
starving
so
juicers.
It's good. It's good seeing that. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like it's fun to watch, and I can't wait to see what happens on the finale of all this, and it's going to be good. It's must see.
Bless you, Ketchup. And yeah,
So
well
I did-
said.
I did
well
mute my
said,
mic.
Swan. No, it was nice.
All right, thank you very much,
It's pro.
Swan. And I guess finally, NzTa, this is your moment, guy.
Yeah, thank you to both of you. It's been fun, and you guys do a really good job. And I also shout out to the Doom community and everyone in chat. Thanks for watching.
Thanks a lot, man. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have everyone on board.
Hell yeah. So I think it's that time where just for a second we say thank you, GG's, and goodbyes to the three beauties above us now, just for a minute. So wave goodbye. We love you guys. We'll see you soon. Because Ketchup, if you wouldn't mind, through putting your voice into a VOD that you already recorded, walking us through the round robin of what happened on week 5 in every other matchup. Do you mind? Do you have
Yes.
time? Is it okay?
Yeah, I mean, just to remind everyone, every single week to close out the show, we put together a little recap video that just gathers the end results for everyone's round robin games. We have the featured matchup every week, but a bunch of the action happens off stream. So for everyone and the purpose of results and all that good stuff, we put a little clip together. And for week 5, it's ready to go. Oh, actually, worth mentioning. Due to just outside circumstances, Moon Marooned and Nero Redgrave versus Tenseco, that's going to be played at a later date, so it won't be covered in this video.
Absolutely. So without further ado, we are going to mute so you can take us through it, through the internet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's see it.
It's been week 5 of the Battle Mode Friday Night Fights Invitational, with our featured matchup as Byteme versus SwanSong and NzTa. But as always, plenty of off-stream action took place this week, which brings me to where we're at right now. First up, Miss Heartbeat fell to Cronid and Conjugate 3-0, this demon duo maintaining their current top spot. Hey Kyle takes on Bazooka Joey and Defiler Phil, a 3-0 in the Slayer's favour as Hey Kyle continues to look strong. A very close affair between Grizzly and the demon duo Dude Hell Yeah and Zero Rex took place. Ultimately though, Grizzly took the series 2-1. Zanarathaz goes up against Fullback and Doomsday Ronin, securing a 3-0 result and a nice amount of points. Tomatrix has a dominant showing against Schlippy and Pinocchio, a 3-0 to the Slayer this time. And finally, in our featured matchup, NzTa and SwanSong narrowly close out the series against Byteme with a 2-1, with probably the closest ending we've ever had on the show. Here is the current leaderboard, and remember, you can catch our weekly featured matchup every Friday at 7:30 PM ET over at twitch.tv/Bethesda.
That was a nice juicy run back there, Ketchup. Thank you for that. You're muted still, my brother. Still muted?
Right, I've unmuted.
Yes.
Do you need a quick correction? Because I definitely got it wrong. It's the first time in 5 weeks, but I guess I'll take it. I believe Dude Hell Yeah and Zero X did actually defeat Grizzly 2-1. I got it in the wrong order. I checked the first map and got it the wrong way around, but there was a victory for the demons that time round. So sorry guys, my bad. But yeah, moving on swiftly.
It's a-okay. You know why? Because you're human. Damn it! I can never point the right way on stream.
It was gonna happen eventually. It was gonna happen. This is week 5. You know, it's. I got over halfway, so I'll take that.
You've done done amazing.
More thorough next time. Apologies, everyone.
No, wouldn't rather do it with anyone else. You the best. I love you. We are at that time where we say a few things to everybody out there. Number one, we love you guys. We thank you for being here. You are the reason for every Friday for us to get here, to have fun with y'all, to gather all of the most passionate community players in battle mode and showcase them doing what they do, which is slaying all day. So thank you guys for being here. As always, we love you guys, but we will pass this baton because we do not let the stream stop. We keep it going. So I think we're going to pass it to our buddy who we haven't had on here for a couple of weeks, but none other than our boy Alston. What do you guys say?
You get me curious. You get me curious every time when we're going to host someone at the end of the show. And I mean, yeah, to close things out, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in as always. We have a couple more weeks of the Invitational left. You can tune into the action. Same time, same place, 7:30 p.m. ET at this Bethesda Twitch. Same format. We have a new set of players coming up, so it'll be a new featured matchup with always the end of week recap for the matches that you missed. So the Invitational will continue. Get involved in battle mode, play it. Hopefully you'll have a good time. There is a lot of variety to the meta right now, so you can be quite creative with your demon comps and the way you want to approach every single map. And the community are doing a fantastic job of really, I think, going full mad scientist mode on the game. But I mean, this show can't exist. It can't exist without the community and you lovely people watching. So thank you very much. And thank you, Tokyo, for doing all the hard work, mate.
No, thank you. Damn it. No, I did it that right that time. Thank you, Ketchup.
You got it right, yeah.
I love you. I wouldn't rather do it with anyone else. Thank you so much. And again, as we pass this baton, I want to just put a little bug in your ear for next week, because next week we have none other than the only
Zan, let's go.
Xanarats versus two guys you might know from the constant shoutouts they get, Dude Hell Yeah and Zero Rex. They will be bringing the heat, the pain, all of it. It is a Spicy Demons matchup. It is going to be spicy versus wait, there's one more spicy in there. So we can't wait to see what comes out of that hot spicy mix with all you guys next week, next Friday, 7:30, right here. Without further ado, it's time to go. We're raiding. Let's do it.
Just want to welcome you here